to. high.
I love that.
Dogs
I love
upstairs.
that.
Then we have these.
Talk about the Batmobile. Oh,
We have these
Waterloo is
Waterloos.
really good.
I don't like them. These are like have 5 times more flavor to me. These,
You know what's?
I can't drink them. I'll
You
send
know
them
what
to
you
you.
should try? You should try
Crack.
the Walmart brand, clearly American, but they sell them in sugar free. They taste like they taste like fruit soda. They're fantastic. The pineapple coconut is chef's kiss.
All
That's right, Cat.
That's right, chat. Hey, welcome everybody to the Renegade Realm podcast, episode 82 of the red sparkling sugar-free. This episode is sponsored by Sparkling Ice. Look at that. Ooh, nice.
Yummy.
Is that like an anti? Can you like say that something's sponsored when it's not, and then they come after you and be like, "How dare you?"
Yeah. They're like, quit
I don't know if that's a
pushing
thing.
our product.
Yeah.
They're like, we
stop
don't
it.
endorse this. We don't endorse you bunch of swine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of swine, everyone. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you all so much for being here. It's Timmy.
What is
Spartan.
what's going on with your overlay?
I need,
You need to go-
everything is completely effed right now, so I will fix it in 1 second. You ever say like
Have DeMarco do the opening thing while you not multitask. How about that?
Oh, there we
Wait.
go.
DeMarco
No,
knows.
Am
this
I
is more. This
assassin
is
head?
far more
Yes.
entertaining.
The assassin?
Nope.
Yep.
I fixed it. It's fixed. Everything's fixed. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Nope. There she
And
goes.
she left.
Perfect. She's like, fix it now. It's not fixed. Okay, I'm out. Bye. It's great. It's fantastic. All right. Well, look. Hey, let me-
Mr. Bashir says, I didn't even know we were live. Why'd you do that? She goes, it'd be really good. And I told Holly, I go, what crack?
Yeah. See, this is what you
The
get.
tape.
Let's just start
the
over.
tape.
Let's just start over. We do this every week where I'm like, let me pretend to start over, and then everything is just off. Anyway, just ignore this little. You know what? Listen, I'll fix things as things happen. But hey, real quick, shout out to thank you all. so
Turn
much
the
for being
eyeball
here. I appreciate you so much. It's Timmy Spartan661 Arcane Realm. Mr. Bushido says, yo ho fellows. I almost said yellow, and I was like, I can't read. American Fury evening, folks. Missed you last week. Did we do a show last week? Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Feels
he
like
wanted
missed
it
us.
was.
You wanted to cancel,
We-
probably.
Right, yeah, that's right. That's what I always try to do. Gray Monad, he just says "oi" with the little dude there. Appreciate you. The Elemental Hero, the Shadowlink Dragon Wolf King says, so Red, when are we gonna see a fall and winter theme of the waiting for stream to start menu? Oh yeah, I mean I should do like a seasonal thing at some point just to make things fresh and
Festive.
Festive. Yeah. Brad Ward Fight makes it to the show. Thank you so much, Brad, for always just tweeting everything all the time and supporting everyone's show. You're so in it. You're so a part of the community. I really appreciate you. Toxic Buttwind. Of course, we can't forget. Even if we can't forget Toxic Buttwind,
Yep.
we will
It's the best
always
name.
smell it. And Moose One is here. OG Frost says, "Oh yeah, clearly Canadian. I drank those a lot growing up." Oh, you're Canadian, Colt. Look at that. Palpatine is here. Slow Lark says, "Hello." Daniel Luna. So what's up with that? What up, everybody? That's probably not how he sounds, but thank you all so much.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, everybody? You ever do that? You ever let you ever do that? By the way, I'll fix all the names.
You ever let
here.
your clearly Canadians just hang out in the breeze?
You ever let your little Canadios just swing in the wind? It's the best. It's the
Wind.
best. In the wind. Yeah. Wind tastes better with cool. I don't know. Listen. Today we have a very good friend of mine jumped in literally last second. He was on his way to Dairy Queen, and he did a U-turn in the middle of the highway, spilled his sparkling ice everywhere, had to go back to the gas station, get it. It's a whole thing, and he made it just in time to talk about a Mass Effect, and that's Colt Eastwood. Thank you for being here, man. Last second, and I'm gonna change your name right now. Let me do that real quick.
Oh, I mean, I forgot. Yeah, I mean, you could make me whoever you want. This is your big opportunity. Thanks for having me on here. I want to be DeMarco forever.
Let's see.
Yeah. As Brad Warfight says, I am basically Canadian. I live 5 hours from the Canadian border, and Mag is my co-host, so that makes me by proxy and by marriage Canadian. Yeah. No, I'm really grateful to be here. You guys are amazing. One of my favorite podcasts, and there's only 700 podcasts, but I love hanging out with you guys. Glad to be
It's
here.
crazy that there's only 700. You would have think by now they would have gotten to like at least 750, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just sort of stopped trying.
There's a cap. Yeah, there's a cap
Yeah.
after this podcast began. It was like, nope, 700. We're good.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, we're getting grandfathered in as the 700th podcast of the world, the podcast of all time.
That's why Nick Marcel hasn't been able to start one either.
Exactly. It's Marseille. Sorry, I'll change that. That's not even funny. I thought it would be a
Oh,
funny.
I thought it was an L. Oops.
No, it's an I. Let me change this. Colt Eastwood.
Sorry, I'm basically blind.
Let's see. Colt Eastwood. There we go. I fixed it.
I got the 7-second delay, so the jokes are like, there it is.
There we go.
Make it all one word if you want to keep it official for my my trademark
okay.
office.
DeMarco, do you want me to do that for you too? I know that was something you yelled at me about one time. DeMarco,
Yeah, I mean, you know, you
Mine's all
should-
one word
you-
too.
You,
okay.
There are no spaces in this place, okay, sir?
all right.
You'd
all right,
think
I got
by
it.
episode 82 you would know how to do our names, but you know,
Yeah, that's true.
it's fine.
That's true.
It shows how much you really care about having us on every week. You know, we just spend hours out of our day coming in, doing this podcast, but you know, thanks for
true.
spelling our names wrong.
I do everything I can to make sure nothing works every week. I'm like, let me just fuck everything up. It'll be
Have you
good.
seen the clip of Andrew Santino, or no, it's Theo Vaughn talking to Bobby Lee, and he's like, I feel like every time I come on your show, you think I'm Chinese, and he goes, I don't care who you are, where you're from. He's like, yeah, but I've been on the show with you for like 2 years, and you should remember where I'm from, and it's so offensive. Bobby Lee's so funny.
He is
That's
one
what
of
it
the
reminded me of.
funniest people.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes that I can't even say all the way was his every year, every day for a year, or every day for a summer. It's that.
Oh, right.
If you guys know it, if you guys know, you know.
Yeah.
Brutally. Anyway, Dion78, thank you for showing up. It's good to see you. I don't know if I've ever seen you, but it's good to see you for this very moment that I'm having with you right now. So here we go. I'm waving back to you. Thank you. Oh man. Also, DeMarco, dude, he just put out a great Mass Effect video that everyone loved. 100% thumbs up on his ratio.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, not a
Yep.
single person disagreed with my take.
That's why you're here, baby. Just the yes man.
Just
of the
look at the
universe.
comments. You'll see how universally everybody agreed with me. It was so good.
Yeah, it was so good. It was peak. Yeah. It was everything that you ever didn't want to be. Yeah. How are you, man?
Good. You know, I'm sort of torn because I just started getting back into Skyrim. My load order finally works, which is crazy when I have like, I don't know, 100 plus mods, which isn't that much by some standards, but for me it is. So I just started getting into Skyrim, playing a character, love the character I've been role playing as. Maybe I'll finally beat it. You know, we just had the anniversary of Skyrim yesterday, so perfect time. Holiday season, getting cold outside, nice to feel warm by the fire. But we also have a little game, Stalker 2, coming out in a week.
Oh. Sorry.
I'm very just ooh.
Don't you play Skyrim every year?
I usually start a new character every year and then never get any further than I have in any of my previous playthroughs. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing.
Does that
though,
game ever end? I played
Not for
so
me.
many
Not
hours
when you
in
play
it.
it the way I
That's
do.
exactly right.
And you can learn this system if you subscribe to my other channel. How to make games last forever.
I mean that's the thing. Bethesda games do well. You just live in it. There is no beating it, being done. It's just taking a break for a year and coming back. It's the
And,
beauty.
and honestly, like one of the like there's games like Fallout 4. I find it harder to. I've never beaten Fallout 4 either, but there's games like Fallout 4 that I find that harder to do that with, just because. Hey, shut up! Stop laughing at me! Stop mocking me!
Sorry, I was laughing at Arcane and his absolutely absurd, rightfully deleted comments. It's ridiculous. How dare you say things that you said that was deleted for a good reason, Arcane? How could you? Anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah, I love it. Well,
so
that's good.
we have Stalker 2 coming out in a week. Super excited for that too. But then Indiana Jones, December 9.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that I'm very excited for as well. I love what I'm seeing with it so far. And then simultaneously, just a flood of other things that I would want to get into. So it's a good time. It's a good time to have too much to do.
It is. It is. Holly, you're here as well. And thank you. And how are you? And you're feeling better, right? You're back off of the Ambien. What is it? What are you on again? Ambien, Prozac, something else. What does Prozac do? Is that a probiotic? I don't know. Whatever.
Makes your hair
Whatever
grow.
medicine you took,
Great.
it made you feel better. It's probably not Prozac. God, I'm like, the last time I took any kind of medication was like from, I don't know, early 2000s. So all those medications are probably different nowadays, but great. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
that
I
was
said
like
all
3
that
weeks
just
ago.
to say,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
okay,
fine.
yep. Yeah, I'm a great friend. Life has been a thing, it's just great. I love it. So you're back and you're 3 weeks healed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am. Yes, I'm here.
That's good.
Hello, everyone. I'm alive. That's it. I didn't make a video because I don't know how to do those things. I just sit and talk to everybody else on their video. Here I am.
Here we go.
And yet you know about 5 times as many people like in the industry as I do.
It's true.
I don't know
It's
about
true.
that.
It's true. Chat, I
It's
just want to share this.
100% true.
Holly, I want you to show your cup. I'm going to show my controller. And I want you to look at this. Red, like the maroon, red, and gold is some of the best looking. It's like the best combination of all time. Look at that. This is my controller. Look at that. And look at that. Look at Colt's and DeMarco's red.
Wait.
Where is clear white cup DeMarco?
You start
I don't
pouring
have-
him- you start pouring
I
him
don't
on the
have plain white mug on me this week.
Oh yeah, that's right. The classic
He upgraded.
plain white. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Look, thank you all so
I
much for
have
being here.
plain white rubbing alcohol. Does that suffice?
Do you just keep that?
In case of emergency.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. Oh my god, I'm gonna clip that. There we go. Fantastic. Sergeant Sentinel Gaming just jumped in. What's up, ladies and gents? Sergeant Sentinel Gaming. I see you on Twitter all the time, but you're never in the chat anymore. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Colt, can you tell me what you've been playing? You've been playing something. Everyone's happy about it, especially you.
Oh, I was so wrong about it. Yeah, it's way better than I thought. I'm like 30 hours into Death Stranding, maybe 25. It's crazy. Midway through the game, been taking my time, and it's way more than I thought it would ever be. So strange and amazing on Xbox Series X, like amazing.
Yeah.
My game share buddy Gaz Septic Sauce bought the game on Xbox. I have a copy for it on Steam. But I was like, let me see how it looks on Xbox. And then I was on the party chat with you, and you said, I'm playing at quality. It's 60. I'm like, no, what? No way.
I was like, bro, I'm telling you, this is not 30. Check it out. And you were like, oh.
I was like, okay, I'm going to play this way. And I looked up a video, and it's like on PS5, it drops down to like 47 frames at the worst. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then I was hooked. I just stayed. So, yeah, I'm not starting over on PC. I'll just play it there. And it's been a great way to stay in shape. I love it. I've been having a good time. And I finished Black Ops 6 the other day. So game has been good. Gave up on Dragon Age. Won't talk about that. I'll go back to it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Holly left.
Yep, there she goes. Yep. I'm going to put more light on my face because it looks...
Finger on the button.
But that's great. I don't know what you're doing.
You sound like a cat hissing.
I know, yeah. Everyone just ran out of the room. It's funny. So, are you getting? I see this before.
Or as my mom would do when she's on the phone, and I make jokes. My mom would go,
right.
like,
Oh
shut
my
up! I'm on the phone.
Is that?
She's like,
just
I
classic?
love it. I just love it. I love what?
I just love it. Oh, Death Stranding's just about. Oh, I just love it.
And my mom had those like Lee press-on nails that went out to here, so it looked like if the lighting was right, she looked like Freddy Krueger.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it was
when she
great.
snaps, her finger, her nail just flies and sticks into the wall
Yeah,
right
just
beside
like
your head.
right into my eyeball.
That was a warning.
Yeah. Next time, it's 2. I only have 3 left. But anyway,
On this hand.
on this end, yeah, don't make me use my phone hand. That's what my mom used to say.
Don't make me switch ears.
Don't make me switch you. Oh man, I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, Death Stranding. I can't wait to get into it because I'm actually picking up on all of the weirdness. I think that's the thing about Kojima games. You play it and you're like, I think I understand what this means. Like with the baby and the switching of souls and the strand of death and stuff. And we just lost 20 people. No, I'm kidding. So I'm really excited to get back into it. Like I said, I'm mainlining Dragon Age because I just want to be done with it. But not like in the bad way. It's like I want to just focus on the main story because that's what I'm here for, and that's all that I can really stand at this point. But we'll talk about that.
It's not bad. It's not bad. The main story is just the only thing I could stand about the game anymore. But it's good.
And I use the word stand very purposely, but not really.
I stand up when I play video games. That's what I meant. I stand up when I play games.
That's all I can.
That's all I can
Standing,
stand.
Sitting down,
Exactly.
listening.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I try to sit down and play Dragon Age, ain't happening. Standing though, peak fiction, as Mr. Maddie would say.
From the toilet is the best.
From the toilet, in the toilet, it's the best. But yeah, so anyway, I forgot where we were. DeMarco, you've been playing Skyrim. Holly, what have you been playing?
Call of Duty. Next.
All right, well, so let's move on to the first.
Am I wrong?
No, Holly, you did start the campaign, right?
I did.
Yes.
I am through 3 or 4 missions of it. I'm really taking my time, and then there's calling card challenges that you can get. So I've actually had to go back and replay like each of the missions that I've done to get like the specific challenges that come. But I didn't look before I played it. If I'd looked before I played it, probably could have gotten, except for the most wanted challenge, which is the mission that you start and you have 3 different ways to get a picture of someone. And when you do it, you do one way, and then you just go back, like finish the mission, right? And then go back, you can restart it, do a different way. So you do all 3, and then you get a calling card for it. So I'm doing all of that very slowly so that I can get all of those, because their campaigns are so good. Like, I love their campaigns. They look fantastic. They're fun. This one has had a lot of like different ways to do things already in the like 4 missions. And then and I already solved all the puzzles at the main house.
Were you creeped the hell out when you first played that?
In the basement?
Dude, the whole ass house. I was like, there is no way that there's like not like a ghost Easter egg. Because it's like
there's gonna be
creepy.
zombies, right?
Yes.
From zombies, like
That's what
popping out of
I
one
was
of these
afraid.
doors.
Because like I swear, like I'm hearing like voices like whispering in some parts of the house, and there's like the creaking
Or like
of
a
the
door
wood.
closed somewhere else.
Yes,
Or
it happens, and I'm like there, and I couldn't find anything. I haven't like really tried to look hardcore on YouTube to see like any Easter egg videos, but the Easter egg,
I solved it all without looking. So
it took me. So I
could
got
do
it all the way up to the end, and I completely overthought it with the keyboard, with the piano. I was like, what am I supposed to play? Fuck it. What am I supposed to play? For
there's
Elise?
way so much past that. There's a lot past that.
Okay, well, so I didn't get it. I opened up the basement. I'll have to go back and
Did
look.
you do the stuff in the basement?
Yeah, I turned on the pressure and got that right, and everything's like ching, and then I got the money in the safe. Right? Is that it?
Did you go to the room with the radio and turn on the radio and listen to the code and find the numbers for the safe in the top floor?
Yeah. And then Adler comes back later on, and he's like, "Well, I would have given you $1,000, but you already took it, you asshole."
Oh, I haven't got to that part. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Oh no. That's something else. Because he did do that. When you're
Maybe I
like,
missed
sorry,
something.
this is way too long into this.
That's
But
okay.
after you do the piano, you did the piano.
Yep, did the piano basement.
And then you go down
pressure
in
tank.
that part of the basement.
Yep.
And then you have to do the computer and then get the key and then.
It's like bunker, like it's like hidden.
Yeah.
Full
Yeah.
on. Yeah. And then you finally get the key and
There's 2 basements though, so that's the first one. I was like, wait.
yeah. You get into like the basement, then you get to like the bunker basement, and then yeah. So there you go. So that's all you've been playing.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's a big game. There's lots to do.
It is.
I really try to get that dang Terminus Easter egg done. I joined a random Discord and joined a random group to try to get the Terminus Easter egg, and these dudes like, okay, we're gonna do this, everybody take these gobble gums. I'm like, okay. I'm putting them all in. I'm like, y'all done this before? And they're like, oh yeah, I got to the boss, but I couldn't beat it and I need help. And I'm like, okay. I load all that stuff up. We do the same stuff that DeMarco and Jonas and I had done. And we make it to the first, there's like 2 big bosses in Terminus. We get to the first boss. These fools are downed in like the first 40 seconds of that. And it's only the first boss fight. There's a whole nother boss that's way harder later on. They're all down. I'm like running around trying to get them up. Then I get down. Then I use my quick revive because I'm the only one that built a self revive because smart. And so then I'm like trying to run around
playing
and get
with
them up.
professionals, so
There you go.
everything is going to feel inadequate.
And then they were like, oh man. And they're like, okay, we're going to start again. The other one's like, nah, I'm out. And I'm like, this is the best.
It's the best. Yeah.
When you
That's
play
good.
with myself and Jonas, you're in the company of
Yes,
true
but you-
experts.
Of heroes.
You, sir, are like trying to pin down an oiled up eel. Like you can't pin you down to a time.
Sounds like Death Stranding.
Exactly. Lots of
Anyway.
eels and whales.
Yes.
It's great.
Yep.
It's great.
Yep.
Well, I've been
Sorry.
playing. No, you're good. I've been playing old Veilguard and going back from that and what else have I been playing? Is that it? No, Veilguard. I beat something. I can't remember. I beat something. Whatever.
Did
But
you
now
play the
it's-
lake house yet?
No, well, I don't own it. I don't have the expansion
Oh,
pass
that's
yet.
right.
But I will get it. I will get it because I know that it's done. So I want that sense of finality with that game. So
Do you
I'm
own the
excited.
base version?
Yes.
Yeah, because you
yes.
played it, right?
Yep. So I am excited to get into it because I know it's. I know you liked it, and you and I have very similar. Especially whenever someone says it's really short, and then, you play it and it's like 4
Yeah,
hours.
I mean, even me, it only took 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Nobody else I talked to has played it yet, and I really want to.
That's
Talk
so
to me about it.
weird. I don't. It's weird. It's weird. Bushido says, "Diddy up eel." All right. Well, hey man, listen. Whatever tickles your
Diddy?
pickle. Yeah. All right. Well, hey. Speaking of tickling and pickling, all right.
I don't want to
So-
know where the segue goes.
Well, it goes straight into DeMarco. Well, not into DeMarco. Sorry, let me rephrase that. DeMarco, you have inspired me. Sorry, let me tell you where this pickle is going. Are you want me to start over? All right.
I should go. I should go.
Sorry. Yep. Well, all right, that was the. Well, you know what? Let's just start this way. Welcome everybody. Well, damn, I need DeMarco here. Man, I think he had to go pee. So, okay, chat. Thank you all for being here, hanging out with us. We're gonna get into the main topic, probably the only topic, because I know how this is gonna go. All of us here on the panel love Mass Effect to death. You can see the helmet back there behind DeMarco. You can also see the helmet behind Holly. You can also see the helmet that's in Colt's hand. And you can also see the helmet that I don't have. Because I don't have
So we're all fans except for Red.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. I'm a fake fan. There we go. DeMarco, DeMarco and Cole just do the whole entire episode like this.
We have before, yeah.
So there. All right. So DeMarco put out a great video. Shout out to Game Seeker. What's up, Ro? Thank you so much for being here, man. He says, "Hey, Renegades of the Realm and the Allfather, where's Assassin? He's dead, but he'll be back. He
Arcane said timed out. Probably, I would know.
yeah. No, Assassin's he had work stuff, so he'll be back next week. So yeah, he's fine. He's fine. By the way, Game Seeker, I'm about to shout you out here in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. So DeMarco, you put out a great video talking about the future of Bioware and Mass Effect, especially after Veilguard, and it's inspired me to just talk about it because today, it feels like every day, it seems like news just keeps coming out about Veilguard and the boosted numbers from IGN and blah, blah, blah. We don't have to get too political about that again, like we did before, but the stuff that came out today, you guys probably didn't see it, but these companies are companies, and they have to act as a company and as a business at the end of the day, and that requires scummy crap at the end of the day. The bigger that you get, unfortunately, like EA, with boosting ratings and reviews and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys have Twitter, I'm sure you guys have already seen it, but I don't want to get too much into it. But what I'll say is that with Dragon Age of Veilguard, people seem to have loved it. Right off the bat, everyone loves it and loves it and loves it, and then now finally it's died down and people are immediately starting to be honest about it, including myself, by the way, because it really starts to sink in. It takes some time to really get into the stuff that, and shout out to Arcane, by the way, because Arcane was telling me, I'm really curious to hear what you think about the game after you're in. I'm 40 hours into Dragon Age, and I finally met the character that everyone was complaining about, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's so... it's so bad. It's so bad. And so what I'll say is, because of this one character, I'm not going to say that the whole game is bad, but I will say that it's distracting enough to make me just frustrated at every turn. I'm like, will you shut the for 5 seconds to let me enjoy this beautiful moment without me, listen to this love story about these two gods that were lovers and one died, and then this stupid character goes, so they were doing it, right? And I'm like,
No way.
will you shut the oh my god. And so anyway, after you meet this character, it does become that a lot and I anyway, so I'm ranting, but I'm getting to my point. The point is, a lot of people are worried about the future about Bioware, especially with Mass Effect. And Colt, you and I have talked recently about this, and DeMarco, you made a whole video about this, the future of Mass Effect. It's the last bastion of hope for Bioware, in my opinion, and I think we can all agree on that. And Mike Gamble, Cole was in a tweet with Mike Gamble, and they made an article about it and everything. And Mike Gamble said that the mature tone, serious tone, is going to remain. Someone replied to him and said, they said something to Mike Gamble, and Mike Gamble responded, yes, we're talking about serious characters in silly situations rather than silly characters in serious situations, which never works for me. That just never works. So that was good to hear. Photorealistic, the art style isn't going to change. It's not going to be the Veilguard. Mike Gamble was trying so hard to not say it's not going to be the Veilguard.
Yeah, because it comes off as super rude to...
Yeah. To his own people, so I get it. He was being professional, and I get that. So anyway, so Colt, you've had the most time into Veilguard, so I'll go to you, and then I'll probably go to DeMarco. What do you hope for with Mass Effect, or just with Bioware moving forward? Because Mass Effect seems to be the only thing that they have left. I can't imagine being excited about any new IP from Bioware at this point, because I don't really have any faith in them after Dragon Age. You said it really well on your show last night. You said, if I was a Bioware fan, if you were a big Dragon Age fan, you would have felt really burned by this entry in Dragon Age. And the more that I play it, the more I am that fan, where I'm like, man, I don't know where I would have tried to draw a line where I said Okay, I don't want to go on another rant. Let me just ask you, Colt.
Okay.
What are your thoughts about the future of Bioware going forward specifically with Mass Effect as like the last hope, the last hope? Like, where would you want to see them go with Mass Effect?
They're gonna have to do like some serious studying of what made Mass Effect 1 so amazing and fold that into what made Mass Effect 2 so amazing. I also believe that 3 is incredibly amazing and underrated.
Yeah.
So, Trick Weeks worked on all the Dragon Age games, right? Wrote for them and wrote for Mass Effect, the trilogy. So there's no excuse to say they lost all their good writers because he's still there. He's still at the forefront. So they really need to look at what made BioWare so amazing. Look into the pillars of design and tone that the founders, Ray and I started to write a whole video about this. I forgot the doctors' names. Ray and Rick and Morty, whatever their names are. The guys that, yeah. You really have to look at what made those two create something so fantastic. And this, Mass Effect Andromeda is a real telltale sign that when they left, Mass Effect Andromeda was the byproduct of the heart and soul of BioWare leaving and whoever left with them. So I think they need to go back and find out whatever made the trilogy so great, and they need to really stick so true and accurate to those pillars of design criteria, tone, and writing. Otherwise, we're going to get a cartoony Mass Effect. I mean, he said it was going to be photorealistic and it would be serious toned. And I believe they think that's what they're doing. But I also believe personally when they made Mass Effect Andromeda that the BioWare team was like, this is going to come off kind of rude, but when they made Andromeda, I bet they're like, this looks so much better than the Mass Effect trilogy. Like, our animations are so much better. Like, we've been able to like bring it forward after 5 years, and our, there's, the world is bigger. There's way more you can do. This is a superior Mass Effect experience. And then you look at the characters' faces. I'm like, you took a step back. Mass Effect 1's character models, when you're like this close, look so much better than Andromeda.
Yep.
And so I think all of that about the pillars, they also need to make sure that they shake off whatever they think they're good at. And just like, we got to make it like it used to be, which is 18 years ago. They have to go back there. That has to be their starting point.
Yeah.
And we've seen it. Last thing I'll say is we've seen this a million times when people try to reboot. These teams have tried to reboot the magic of Star Wars on TV or movies. They try to look back and say what made them great. And I think they're missing the key ingredient. What made the originals great, like Indiana Jones or Star Wars, was their source material is based on 1940s serials. But instead what they do is they riff off of the old movies instead of riffing off the source material that made them so great. And I don't think BioWare has been shown they're capable of making that great formula like they used to.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about it.
And you said you said a really good point where you said that they think that they're making something good, and I think that is just a creative. That's just something that, as all creatives, we're all content creators here. Whenever you have your hands in something for so long, you don't really have enough outside perspective to realize what you're doing. Not necessarily wrong, but you get so in it that you miss like little things. Like, for example, if you're writing a song, you're writing and you're writing and you're writing. Like, I'm trying to like get this chorus right or whatever, and then one person comes and listens to it one time and goes, "No, this is all you have to do." And they go, "I never thought of it like that." And so where modern age, like social politics or whatever, however you want to word it, I feel like gaming companies nowadays are so worried about bringing in a new audience that they alienate the audience that made it popular to begin with. And then they tell them that they're wrong for not even, you shouldn't even, this isn't meant for you. Well, if it wasn't meant for me, then why are you trying to introduce a sequel to new audiences like Veilguard? Makes no sense coming off of Veilguard from Dragon Age Inquisition and saying we're going to continue the story with all of these, with nothing that it barely feels like Dragon Age. Okay, then I'm just talking about Veilguard. So with Mass Effect, yes, where they go, we look at this and we think that it's serious tone, and I hope that it's not them saying this is serious tone and great looking in comparison to whatever else it is. If they are at least looking at it like this is the source material, like looking at the original Mass Effect trilogy, that would be like a fair point of comparison, I think, for them to say it looks really great compared to Mass Effect trilogy in tone, So anyway, DeMarco,
Yeah.
you made a whole video about it.
Yes.
And everyone agreed with you. So tell me,
Everyone.
So tell me, just matter of fact, let's just play your video. You don't have to say anything. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, so here's the thing that a lot of content creators I feel like aren't going to bring up, right? Because it's easier to turn around and be like, Mass Effect is dead, Bioware is dead, and I'm not saying I disagree with some of that too, because as Colt, as you mentioned, like Andromeda showed that, yeah, you still have some of those people who worked on these games, but obviously a lot of people did leave, and so that shifts both the culture at your company, but also the things that it's going to produce as a result, right? So yes, a lot of people left, like Drew Caprichin, is gone, and people who like kind of founded the universe of Mass Effect, they're gone. That being said, you also do have a lot of legacy people, right? So specifically Mike Gamble, this is going back to 2020, he highlighted Dusty Everman, Brendan Holmes, Parrish Lay, Derek Watts. These are names that you're probably never, like most people probably have never heard of, because they're not the names that get called out, because usually when this type of conversation comes up, it just goes, oh, like the whole team is like new, like, oh, everybody left, right? It's just this broad umbrella thing of, well, everything's gone, the studio's dead. But these are people who have been there for a while, and they're in the leadership positions. These are the directors that are working on the project. In 2024, Mike Gamble reiterated these points, stating that, yeah, we have, and I forgot the exact positions, but the executive, like the director of animation, like the executive producer, which is Mike Gamble, like, all these roles are filled, and it's these people, right? So he confirmed this year that these people are still there working on the project. And then you have folks like, you have someone like John Dombrow, who wrote Javik, which I think is maybe not unanimously, but like one of the best characters in Mass Effect, in my opinion. Like one of the coolest characters, has some of the most amazing lines, incredible dialogue in the game. John Dombrow worked on Veilguard, and is also working on, surprise, Mass Effect 5, right? You have Trick Weeks, which Colt, you brought up, and there's these really good interviews where he's talking about how he wrote Tali, and like Tali dealing with her literal race, like her racism towards the Geth, and he's getting into these really deep, complex conversations about it, that when you look at the Veilguard, you go, this can't be the same person. So I understand why, this can't be the same guy who wrote Tali, who wrote Garrus, who wrote Morden, which I think is the best character, like the best companion in Mass Effect. Like, it's the same person. So we know that they can do it. The question is whether or not they will. I understand everyone's frustrations. I get why people are hesitant. I get why people are cautious, and I myself am too, right? I look at the Veilguard. I'm someone who I was never as hard on Andromeda as a lot of other folks. I kind of liked by the end of Andromeda, the technical problems aside, by the end of Andromeda, I appreciated the contrast between Ryder and Shepard greatly. And I liked seeing, because it felt to me like this is probably what Shepard could have started out as, right? I know you get to choose his background. He's like a war hero, or he survived this, the horrible events where everybody was massacred. But like Shepard starts as like this new baby grunt in the military, and he's like starting his own command. I could imagine it somewhere very early that's what Ryder was. There's one scene that still to this day sticks out to me. It's like Ryder's he just gets the Tempest, he's giving the speech, and all the companions are like, yep, all right, cool, like whatever, bye. And they just all leave. And I love that scene because it sets Ryder apart greatly from what Shepard was, where everything that Shepard did was like calculated and more planned, and like even when you're doing the Renegade and you're running around punching reporters, like it felt cool. And Ryder didn't feel cool, and I liked that. But by the end, I thought he seemed cool.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that contrast at the very least. But it was, all things aside, it was still the worst of all the Mass Effect games in my, still.
Sure.
So it has an uphill battle. It has its problems. I think I personally feel as though a lot of what people are frustrated with Veilguard don't necessarily need to transpire into or carry over to Mass Effect. 5. I think it's entirely possible that with this, they might have even had a companion in mind, and now they're saying, all right, let's walk it back a little bit. We're going to rework this, if based on some of the feedback and some of the comments. But I get why people are nervous, and like you said, I do have a longer video discussing a lot of this, but can they still deliver? Yes. Will they? It's Schrodinger's Mass Effect. Like, until we see the game, it's both a good game and a terrible game. We don't know yet. I'm just someone who prefers to say, like, hey, I'll look forward to it, and if the game comes out and sucks, or like it gets the reviews that Veilguard did, I was very excited for Veilguard. I'll turn around and
Veilguard has good scores.
Has good scores.
Like an 81 on OpenCritic.
It does, yeah, it does on an OpenCritic. Metacritic I usually don't trust because you don't need to have played the game to review on Metacritic, so I usually stay away from that personally. But
well, I mean, it's got industry reviews is the regular number, but OpenCritic doesn't care if you're on PlayStation or Xbox or PC. It takes all of the reviews on all platforms and gives you one number. This is the game,
This is what people
because
are saying.
an Xbox game will get 5 reviews and a PlayStation will get 25 reviews. So
right,
yeah.
Yep. So look, I think it can be good. I think it can be terrible. I'm the type of person that goes, look, I'll go back and play Skyrim for the 400th time and I'll be happy with my life. So it's a video game. I don't get too upset about it. And I hope for the best. I do hope for the best. Whether or not they'll deliver is a different story.
Yes, thank you. That's a great.
And he
great
died.
point, and I died. Arcane says the youthful optimism of Andromeda was appreciated. I
half
you.
agree.
I half agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I half agree with you. Game Seeker says, should I drive down to Bioware and start protesting? Yes, you can go do that right now. That'd be great.
Here's the thing. Here's the one thing. The last thing I want to say about it actually is Mike Gamble comes out and says it's a more mature tone. The problem with Mass Effect 5 is, like, Veilguard, like you said, had a huge problem because it should have been a continuation of Inquisition, and it kind of was just like a little bit of a middle finger to people who played Inquisition, because there were only the 3 choices that mattered, and they said, nope, like, whatever, screw that, Mass Effect 5, you've waited so long, and you're going back to these legacy characters that your audience has now grown up. So you're turning around and you're promoting Liara, and you're promoting, like, hinting, but we know it's probably gonna be the case, like, Shepard's gonna be back in some capacity, right? So these are characters that are really important. These are characters that we played as, it started in 2007, was Mass Effect 1. So that needs to be respected. It can't be the same approach that they did with Veilguard, where they say, we want to make sure that this is a clean experience for everybody. Like, anybody can hop in. Yes, you can hop in because the Legendary Edition released, and it's amazing, and you can play them in 4K, 60 frames per second, like all of that good stuff, like updated gameplay for Mass Effect 1. You can go back and do those if you care. This needs to treat their audience the same way. They need to acknowledge that they've grown up and that these are the types of stories that they're looking for. Veilguard didn't capture that.
That's a really, really... Some of the best... This is actually one of the reasons that I love Holly, Wolf Among Us. Is why I love that series so much. Because it doesn't treat you like an idiot. It literally just shows you these characters that you grew up as a kid, grown up like you are grown up, with issues, they have drug addiction, and some people are homeless, and some people, I mean, it's like real life shit applied to what you already knew. And they nail that so much with that world, the Fable universe, or Fables universe with the Wolf Among Us. Yeah. And so I would hope that, like you said, DeMarco, that at least they would treat their audience like we never left. We never went anywhere. We're just older now, and we've been waiting for you to come home, honey. So that's what I'm hoping. So Holly, you love Mass Effect. Whenever you play Mass Effect, Holly, do you play as male Shep? I meant to ask.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
And you
There is
play
only
as
one
default. Okay. Hey, listen, you heard it from the female. Yeah. And the model, just so attractive.
With
do you
the-
play as
the-
default? The little scar,
Yes,
little
because
cheek?
with the buzz cut,
Mhm.
beautiful black 5 o'clock shadow thing, the whole thing. Yeah,
The
that's
lips,
the only Shepherd that
just
I
kissable lips.
that I
Oh,
acknowledge.
This is
Yes.
so good. It's
Shepard, I
Yep.
could just kiss your lips,
kiss you.
Shepard.
Shepard, I kiss you. Yeah, Holly, what are your thoughts on the future of Mass Effect, I guess? And you, by the way, everyone, Holly has not played Veilguard, and I don't want to speak for you, but I would say that your skepticism is in Dragon Age. It was well valid. That's valid. I'm trying to be careful. So what I would say is, you're right.
Keep going. I'm really interested.
You don't need to even. There is no excuses to be made whatsoever from me or from anyone. I played Veilguard. The things that Veilguard does really well. The things that Veilguard does well, when I go, wow, this is Dragon Age, they do it really, really well. And like I was talking to you last night, Colt, I'm like, some of the stuff that they do, I'm like, oh, let's go. This is so good. I'm getting all emotional with the story beats. And then someone opens their flipping mouth. And I'm like, it's like they had like 3 different teams writing this game. And that's what I'm worried about with Mass Effect, where...
Well, they didn't they? It went through 3 different versions.
That's true.
Really?
That's true. Yeah.
So here's the thing that gives me faith for Mass Effect 5 is that this seems to be the one game that is finally going to be relieved from all of their past development troubles, because we know that Andromeda was the first really to be impacted, where it just had a myriad of development issues and problems. Then we have Anthem, or was Anthem come first? I get the two mixed up. One of them came out, they had issues. Then the other one was impacted by those issues. Everybody had to rush over to Anthem to fix that game because it was a horrible disaster. Then you had, Veilguard coming out. Veilguard went through effectively 3 different versions. It started out as a game codenamed Joplin. You were going to play as a group of spies into Winter. And then you were doing all the stuff, and it was a direct continuation, and they were so excited because the emphasis was on world reactivity, choice and consequence, and continuing the plot threads from Inquisition and fixing the problems that Inquisition had, mainly like the open world stuff, and the MMO aspects. Then it went from Joplin to the live service because EA said, you need to make a live service game. So they pivoted a lot. That's when a lot of people also left because they didn't want to work on that game. Then it went from the live service to what we got. And I'm sure there were some things in between, but it went to what we got, which is now... Oh, then it went to Dreadwolf. And then Dreadwolf became
really
Veilguard.
Builds every aspect of the industry, didn't it? Like, think about all the transitions and problems at Bethesda with their push for live service.
Yep.
Sony proper, right? With their push for live service.
Yep. And so, so then we got Dreadwolf. And then from Dreadwolf became Veilguard. So it went through almost like 4 different versions before we got the Veilguard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that was the thing, right? So Veilguard's not getting any DLC, and I think that's intentional because that lets the team finally turn around and go, we're back on track. Like, we're not doing DLC, the team's moving on to Mass Effect, and it's going to be the first game that's finally like, yeah, all those other experiences, we're not bogged down because we need to spend an entire like extra year of our staff working to fix everything wrong with the Veilguard. It's just, that is done. We're moving on. Mass Effect now, and they're finally on track once more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, Holly, what are your thoughts about all that? Just Mass Effect in general, and the feedback from Veilguard and what everyone said and all the issues with it, and it's pretty glaring. Do you see a comeback? Coming?
So, my thoughts are several. I actually think that Andromeda, if it had just been called Andromeda and it had been known as a game in the Mass Effect world, I think it would have done much better, and I don't think people would have crapped on it as much as they did, because in all honesty, Mass Effect Andromeda is a good game. It's just not a good Mass Effect game because you are so entrenched in the first 3, the emotional responses, all of the things that come from doing this trilogy, and then anything after that I think was an impossible feat. But I thought they did a really good job with it. It just, it should have just been labeled as a game in the Mass Effect world. and I think it would have been better. I think it would have genuinely been
Andromeda, a Mass Effect story.
I was gonna say
Yes.
that, dude. Oh my god.
Yes.
I was gonna say that. It's so good. So true.
Yes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been in the direct name for the
Mhm.
game. I think that was a big problem. So as far as what translates into moving forward, I mean, only Mike Gamble knows, right? The problem is, to Colt's point, is the fact that certain games are meant to do certain things. Not any game is meant to address all things, nor should they, right? Like in the world, like you write a book, if it's about science fiction, you don't write about romance. You know, like you don't bring in these like you don't write about like owning a floral stand in a science fiction book, right? Like you don't do that. That's not a thing that you do. So you have to keep on point. You have to keep realistic within the world and what's going on and is plausible in that world. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't find a way to address certain things that people are experiencing now through the subtle storytelling of the world environment, right? Like if you want to talk about nuclear war or the threat of nuclear war, Chernobyl, right? Like you can tell those stories in a sci-fi game masked over something, you know, from that universe. If you want to talk about BioShock, right? Like that was it was a very creative way to talk about communism, capitalism, right? All of these heavy, dramatic life things, but in a way that isn't suffocating. It's not preachy. It is entertaining, and it's giving some semblance to things without pissing anybody off, without sending any direct political responses or topics or any of those things, right? In a way that is acceptable to the mass audience. And Veilguard, from what I understand, I have not played it, didn't really do that in the way that other games have been able to do that in the past, where they're telling a story or creating a theme. Now, does a theme like that necessarily belong in a game that's set in medieval times about magic and fighting dragons?
Nope.
I don't know, right? Like probably not. It sounds like maybe it's more in like a Life is Strange or, you know, like in a more emotional story, human driven style game. Right? Time and a place. Plus, like I think in all aspects, sometimes like wherever we live, we tend to forget that our bubble is not the world bubble, or even the United States bubble, or the Canadian bubble, or the South American bubble, or whatever it is, right? So what's going on in your dynamic isn't necessarily what's happening everywhere. So it doesn't necessarily resonate to a mass audience, or a mass audience might feel something about that differently. Like in the Pacific Northwest, right? You have lots of forests, you have lots of trees, you have lots of natural or like ecosystem based concerns that the rest of the world doesn't necessarily know about, right? So things that could be happening ecologically there that seem radically important because they are to that system aren't necessarily like people in Chicago are gonna be like, what? It's a tree. What's the problem, right? Like, cut that thing down and let's move on. Like, it's taking thoughts, stories, whatever it is, and making them either understanding that this isn't the right place to put that, or this isn't the right way to do it, or it needs to be encased in the story or in the setting of the game that you are doing in a very game specific way. And I don't think that they accomplished any of that from what I've seen and what I've heard.
I always think back to the one thing, like this is a problem that's not just unique to games either. It's in film, obviously. And I always think back to the moment I knew that the new Star Wars trilogy was just going to be miserable it was like the opening scene, and Poe Dameron's in his little X-Wing by himself flying up to the Imperial cruiser, and they just do a phone call joke where they're like, oh, sorry, like I can't understand you. You're cutting out, like, and just some nonsense joke, and then he might as well have just at the end of it been like, who do you think you're talking to? And he just goes, your mom, and then hangs up. Like it was just so corny and like terrible. And I don't want to watch Star Wars and be thinking about modern problems, right? Like it is too today. And same thing with Veilguard, and the same thing with if I'm listening to, like, you can have room for that in some offhanded comment somewhere on the side. Like if Shepard's running around in the Citadel, they've done that. They did that in Mass Effect 2 or 3 at some point. And Shepard's running around. They made, what was it? It was Mass Effect 3 or 2 when you're running around and they have like the one guy who's like the video game salesman, and he's like, I heard this game like has super DLC expansions that you could buy, and it's like well, and they're like, they like make a GameStop joke. They're like, if you buy it now, we'll give you 2.5 credits towards the next purchase of 7,000 credits. It's like
which was funny because it was run by EA, and EA was like so notoriously infamous for the online pass and everything. They're making fun of themselves and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
It's so like there's room where that stuff's appropriate and like that offhanded comment, but not when it's the main crux of the game or like a big part of the game, which Tosh is a big part of the game, right? So it doesn't really work as well.
It's unfortunate. Shout out to Slowlark in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, bro. He says, Holly has just encapsulated perfectly the entire issue. Yeah, you did. You said it very well. Like, and to your point, like, Colt, you were talking about how it's like if these I don't ever walk away from a game that I love taking away like, oh, that was really relatable because it very specifically, in a very modern way, talked about racism or sexism or whatever it is. It's usually, if something is written well, it's subtle and it meshes in with the lore in the world that it's in. Not blatantly beating the shit out of you over the head with
look at this.
Look at this. Yeah, exactly. And so it just doesn't add up. So yeah, Colt, to your point, what Holly was saying, just putting those two thoughts together, was there's a time and a place, like you said, Holly, right? Like there's the medieval. I don't want Mass Effect 5 or Mass Effect 4 or whatever to. There shouldn't be like those issues should be solved. If we're talking about modern day social political issues or whatever, those issues should be long gone. Because whenever I play a video game, I don't want to have to think about the issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And if there are those types of issues, it should be handled very tastefully and it should match the world. And I know no one has played
make it
Metaphor,
abstract.
but yeah,
metaphors exist.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
the thing.
There's no subtlety.
It's just exactly like I was talking about with BioShock. When you play that game, you know that there's all these references, but it's not anything directly related to the actual story, right? Like, and then when you get out of it later and somebody explains to you, like, oh, this is the part of communism or capitalism or whatever, and you're like, oh, now I totally understand it, right? But it's not, because it's encapsulated in this story, right? And the language and everything is so expressive without you having to express it directly, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, Colt,
I don't really feel like there's really subtlety in writing anymore, and it goes to the complaints from. I'm not a writer, but it comes from other writers that have complained about things like Veilguard, where it is very immature. It's a very immature, developed writing process when you have your character say he goes hard, and and hearing a dwarf say that guy's an a-hole, and. I mean, you can use different words, but saying what the crap, and they're crapping all over us. Yeah. Using the word crap just comes off as, I want to make sure that this appeals to 12-year-olds and 18-year-olds, but we still want the rated M mature rating for some reason.
Why do you have adult themes, but with language clearly meant to be for 12, 13, 14-year-olds?
Yep.
And I don't love games that gratuitously use the F word nonstop. And I feel like I haven't heard that as much as I
Especially a
used
game
to.
like that, right? Like
Yeah,
if
like
it's
10 years ago, it happened a
Mafia,
lot.
It was it
Right,
makes
right,
sense, right?
where it
'Cause
makes
when did
sense.
GTA 5 come out? Which obviously is
13.
notorious for its verbiage.
Yeah, it was in 2013. Yeah.
So and then you had a lot of games that are like, oh, GTA 5 swore a lot. Like, what if we just put that in our game? And you're playing like
Right.
Hello Kitty, and then suddenly she's like, it's like, oh yeah, that'll get the kids. Like, they'll love it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like, even if it's satirical, that still takes me out of it. Like, it's even like in a GTA game where it's full of satire, and then they make a joke, like making fun of real world problems, which that's GTA 5 is like, that's the whole game is like what that is. Even then, I'm sort of like, oh, and then like for a split second, your brain is like back to the real world, and then you're laughing about a real world issue, and then you're like, and I'm back to the video game. And I hate that. Like, video games are about escapism and immersion, and those kind of things they don't matter to me. I don't need an elf telling me
it doesn't work.
Thank you, Todd. It just doesn't work. But yeah, it just those kind of things are they just, there's a time and a place for it. Like, I would much rather think about something and be like you said, DeMarco. What I was going to bring up was actually metaphor, the game metaphor. But if something is tastefully done, where you're trying to not necessarily like push an agenda, but like if you're trying to get like a message across to make somebody feel included, it should feel meshing with the world. It should be more of a metaphor rather than just completely on the nose. Look at my kids, look at my kids, look at my kids. Just beating you over the head with it. Metaphor, the game Metaphor ReFantasio, from what I've played, does that really well with racism. And even though in the world of Metaphor it's very obvious that is what it's about, they're not. It still feels like this is part of the world. Like, it does. I'm not like taken out of it. Like, oh, this is a metaphor for, what's happening right now in the world. It's like, no, this is just an issue. As humans have always dealt with, type of thing. And it just makes sense in the world because it's delivered in a way where it's not having someone say, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's sort of like it's affecting everyone in some way that actually makes sense. Anyway, but Andrew Cullinane says it's going to be hard for them to impress me over Andromeda, the best Mass Effect ever made. And Andrew Cullinane loves Andromeda, which is fine. And Colt, you played Andromeda last year. It wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago.
It was the beginning of 2023. Excuse me. I liked Andromeda. Okay. I was just disappointed with the crew. They sucked and stuff like that. But when I replayed it at the beginning of 2023, huh? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. He was so unforgettable. In fact, I did a playthrough, excuse me, of Mass Effect 3 where,
he's
his
the old
name's
guy
like-
that's like, hey kid, like, pal around me, I'll show you the ropes, and he's like giving you all the he wasn't the best character, but by any means was he like the best Mass Effect character, far from it. But I just liked he was just a generic tropey like old battle guy that's
Okay.
giving you war advice.
I mean,
forgot.
what was his name? Like Warks, or it was like Dorks or Drax or
Drax?
something like that.
Drax.
Drax.
Oh, is
I
that
mean,
it?
if you want a memorable,
Yeah, it
if
is
you want a
Drax.
memorable Krogan, it was Rex and
Grunt?
Grunt.
Grunt, yeah. And memorable, and what was his name again?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Grunt first, and then anyway. The point being, the year Starfield was coming out, I replayed Andromeda the second time, and the second time, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. But I didn't like talking to the crew. I go to talk to him, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, great. I didn't like, you got the guy who's like doing push-ups with his shirt off. He's like, you want to lay around, you want to roll around a little bit and see what happens? And I'm like, no. I was just making sure that you got the heat sinks in your room. Apparently you do. They look great. Yeah,
Yep.
not my
I'm
favorite.
Yeah, well, dude,
I should go.
Yeah, and that sounds exactly like what you were
should go.
describing with. Thank you, Shepard, and we will. With what you were talking about with Veilguard, it's like You love it for the things that are on the surface level that they did really, really well. I still
World's
talk
beautiful
about,
combat's amazing.
yes, exactly.
It's some of the best combat in gaming in a long time,
Dude,
for me,
yeah.
yeah, it's great. Love it. Love it.
Love it. And Andromeda still, and after Andromeda came out, I feel like I seriously can't even think of a better third-person shooter with the movement. Like everything feels so incredible, and I'm like, this might be my favorite third-person shooter ever made. It is my least favorite Mass Effect game. Like Holly said, it's a great game. It's not a good Mass Effect game. And that just leans into the topic about, or just the whole conversation around companions and how important other characters other than yourself matter when it comes to an RPG. Because it's not all about your character, it's how you reflect on other characters, and that's how the experience and emotions and relationships and stuff like that, however you decide to build them off of those characters. Like, I can't imagine a world where Tash is a character where I go, maybe I'll like her eventually when I get there's nothing that I could say as a character that's gonna make anything better about that character.
Bioware.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, it scared me. I was like, fuck. Oh, thank you so much, Game Seeker. Thank you so much, bro, for the $20 Californian super chat. I really appreciate you, man.
You're such a nerd.
He says, hey, Red Wolf, how is Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero? I haven't started playing it yet. Are the controls similar to Kakarot? Sorry, off topic. Yeah, I have. And thank you to Game Seeker, who actually gifted me Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I had no plans to buy it because I didn't think that there was any like story mode to it or anything like that, but there is. It's like a multiverse type thing. The combat is fantastic. It's super cinematic. So the camera, for any of you Dragon Ball Z fans out there, Umbra, I see you. I know you're a Dragon Ball Z fan. And I would say that it's a great entry to the Dragon Ball video game space. And thank you so much again for doing that. Speaking of which, with Mass Effect, you were asking about what's his name, Greg, and I can't pronounce his last name. Did I do this already? Where I showed that Game Seeker sent me a signed copy from one of the 3 doctors of Bioware, and
It's
Greg,
really cool.
That's amazing.
Greg B or something, I don't know. And this was really, really special.
Greg Biazura?
Bioware. Yeah, that's who it was exactly.
Oh yeah, so
What is that? What is that from?
that's Oblivion.
That's Oblivion.
The
yeah.
adoring fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe it's you here next to me.
Yes, exactly. And so in Starfield, he goes, "By Vectera, by Vectera, by Vectera." Yeah, because that's where that's the
okay.
planet that you start on, and so he hears about you.
What do you guys think about a remaster of Oblivion at the end of the year?
Oh man.
I mean, it's not happening, but I want.
I
Well,
guess
we are getting it, kind of, through Skyblivion, which is a phenomenal mod project that's coming out in 2025.
What if you didn't have to use mods?
Wow. You know,
That,
Just
mods are
saying.
cool.
Greg Zeshuk. Game Seeker
That was
says.
close.
Okay. Yeah. Vectera. Anyway, yeah, so Bioware sucks and everything sucks. No. Let me actually end this poll because, hey, baby.
Hey, all right.
All right. Let's see. Did I?
Infinite Umbra in the chat.
Let's see.
Hi.
50%.
Yeah,
You
there
can see
it
the
is.
trailer. 28% just wanted the trilogy, the vibe back. Only 3% were like no. So it seems like a lot from the few people, 28 people that voted. Thank you all so much for voting and being here, hanging out with us tonight. Seems like no one's really like signing it off, and I feel like that's how I am too. Like, can you guys imagine? Okay, because this is my journey, Holly, with Dragon Age. We saw that trailer. We all watch it together. And I went, what the fuck? what am I looking at right now with this and I said to you guys, I said, this is just bad first impression. Bad first impression. Then I eventually came around to Veilguard, I played it, and now here I am again saying, when it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's awful. Just like Eminem said about Rihanna or whatever. What happens whenever Mass Effect comes out with a trailer like that, where it's well, I guess that's not fair to say because Mike Gamble has already talked about it's not gonna be that. But I don't know what happens like whenever we get
art style. He just talked about it's mature, but to your point earlier, Dragon Age Veilguard was rated mature, right?
Yeah. Well, what did he say? I wish I had the quote in front of me.
He said, I have it open.
Okay. And, yo, Umbra, what's up, bro? Thank you for being here, man. I'm sorry I didn't give you a proper.
He said, on October 28th, he said, lots of people asking me about Mass Effect now that Veilguard reviews are out. Both are from the studio, but Mass Effect is Mass Effect. How you bring a sci-fi RPG to life is different than other genres or IPs and has to have different kinds of love. Regarding tone questions, Mass Effect will maintain the mature tone of the original trilogy. This is all I'm gonna say for now.
Okay. I think
if it has a purple filter,
done.
We get our pitchforks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then we're send them all to Game Seeker and have him put them out in front of everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's a nebula. That's why it's purple.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even. I feel like I talked about it before. Like aside from like we had a good conversation about like the tone and what we're expecting, but like as far as our expectations of the next Mass Effect, like I said to you the other day, Colt, like that character that Mike Gamble has as his profile pic, the one that we saw in the trailer, all that is the main character. And that is not Shepard. And I just need to, for people who are wanting that, just
let me look.
No, it's not Shepard. I don't think they were never gonna do another game at Shepard. Shepard's gonna appear in the game. I'm calling it right now. He's gonna appear the way that Hawk did. He's gonna appear the way that Hawk did. Or he's gonna be like a Leliana equivalent, where Leliana was very present in
Leliana for president.
Inquisition. And that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be.
I mean, this character is purposely androgynous, you know?
Very thin, very feminine looking.
Very slender.
Yeah.
Very, I don't know what the word is. Elegant looking.
I just don't think you can take Shepard and bring him into a new game, because if you do, then you risk damaging the first 3, right? Plus the fact that
Star Wars syndrome. Yeah.
Plus the fact that, like you guys were talking about, like everybody just bring him back. Well, yes, but there's nuance to that. First of all, as people age, their opinions change, their attitudes change. They get either angrier or more laissez-faire with life, right? Like all of these things happen to people as they get older. Their style changes. And then also, if this is going to have a lot of longevity, you need to have like the young writers as well, right? Incorporated so that they understand all of the behind the scenes, like the core of what the essence of this was, what it was meant to be, what it's always meant to be, and be able to take that and not wind up with things like Veilguard, which are sort of out of the bubble of what that original, right, that whole subtext or what that game style is really meant to be. You want people to learn it, understand it, respect the source content and the source idea, and be able to move it forward.
Holly, you say things way too smartly sometimes, and I'm like, well, that's the show.
Well, that's the show. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Shepard already had his story. You bring him back, but what are you gonna do? He already concluded the galaxy, the Milky Way. Like he already did it.
Right.
You know, you made your decision. Hey, I'm one of the only Mass Effect fans that was bowled over by the ending of the trilogy, and I laid awake that night at like 12:30. I finished the game. I was supposed to go to work the next day, and I laid there like this, like, holy smokes! That just happened. Like my shepherd was like, because my shepherd looks like me, and he was beaten and bruised, and I loved that conclusion. And then the next day, I stayed away from spoilers. Next day, I got on forums, and everyone's like, they didn't tell you what happened to Krogan. They didn't, tell you what happened with this. They didn't tell you that. And I'm like, that's already assumed. Like, you had a big goodbye for 2 hours in the end of the third game. You said goodbye to your crew before you did the final run in London, and I felt like you can already assume they don't need to have the. Actually, I watched a great video about a really bad, weak crutch in films is when they end a movie and they say, and Tommy and his wife went on to make their own cupcake making business. It's like, and it's written in the bottom. Yeah. And then Jenny went on to become a foot photographer. And this film expert said that this is a really bad crutch for horrible conclusion where you have to summarize everything that happens to them to give people the conclusion they want. That conclusion should happen in the game, and they didn't do that. But I was one of the many, or one of the few, that was great with the ending. And then I went back and played the whole thing over for the ending they added 6 months later or whatever. And I was like, I waited for some still animated like stills, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's
Shepard's story's over is what I'm getting at. Like,
yeah,
we can move on, but I don't think Ryder was the right move on. He wasn't a very good, or he or she wasn't a very good character. I mean, my Ryder looked like me if I, had a big pompadour. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was really well said, and it's so weird, like, hearing you talk about Andromeda and thinking about like Veilguard right now. It's like we're talking about the exact same game almost, like, but with Andromeda, I wasn't like offended by anything. I was just more like taken aback because the tone was so completely and utterly off. Whenever you tried to be bad, quote bad, in or mean or renegade in Andromeda, it just felt like you were just like a little frustrated, and that was like about it. Same thing with Veilguard. It's like in Veilguard, whenever you're talking about being like, hey, I got your back and I'm your best friend ever, and then you go down to like the meanest option. He's like, hey, I got your back. Let's go back to work. And you're like, okay, so we're not. There's no choice. There's no attitude choice whatsoever. It's just, there's no point. I might as well just be mean all the time because I'm not necessarily mean. Anyway, but yeah, to your point, Colt, yeah, the more time, because you know how I felt, Colt, like a year ago. I mean, forever I felt like this with Shepard, like, bring Shepard back. I want Shepard to come back. And I even replied to Mike Gamble, and I was like, thank you in advance for bringing Shepard back. And it wasn't even until like it was like a couple of days later where I thought about it. I was like, I'm gonna put myself in a corner, and I'm gonna end up disappointing myself with whatever comes next all over again. And I think we just need to prepare for, like, respect whatever comes next. If Shepard is included, like DeMarco, if Shepard comes back as like the Luke Skywalker from like the Star Wars trilogy, and he's there being like, you brought me back, but I'm here and I'm gonna tell you about my story, and so, I honestly don't even want that. I don't even want that. I just want, if he's either in the game and you're playing as him, or he is not in the game at all, and he is just, Liara finds his tomb that the Geth made for him, theoretically, and it's done. I don't know. Because how could they?
Or just like a cameo and a flashback. That's fine, right? But like,
right. Well, because it would have
Mark
to come
Meer.
from Liara. What is it?
No, I just said Mark Meer. Yeah, like, he's already he wants to do stuff. Like,
Yeah.
let him do a cameo in the game, and at least
It
do a
would be fan service,
hollow
right?
conversation.
Yeah,
What's that?
Yeah.
It would be fan service, right? To just do a
Sure.
little cameo thing, and yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
like-
finally get a hold of him, and he's finally there on the comms call, and he's like, I should go.
Yeah.
I love it when they're like,
Shepard.
when you like tell some guy off,
He's like, exactly.
or how dare you? And the guy goes, they do the thing where they scratch their neck.
Yeah.
How could you do that when you knew these people were starving?
You're like,
I should go.
Yeah, exactly. That's transcended other video games, by the way. Like the I should go, or that's all for now, or whatever, that kind of stuff.
I love it.
It's transcended. I don't know, DeMarco, you don't want Shepard to come back, do you, as a main character? Do you want him to come back as like a Luke Skywalker?
I mean, you say bring him back like a Luke Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker, like, even Mark Hamill hated when he came back.
It was terrible.
He was just,
it was
like,
terrible.
He played into the trope of, like, the curmudgeon-y old man, like, everything. And then they did that with Indiana Jones, and Harrison Ford was the curmudgeon-y old man. Like, we don't want curmudgeon-y old men.
Harrison
like,
Ford's like, just kill me off in the bridge.
Just kill me. Like in the movie, Harrison? No, like right now. It's like, Harrison.
Yeah, he's like, kill me in the movie first, and then, yeah, if that song follows me everywhere I go. That's what he said when he heard the Indiana Jones song.
Here's my milligrams. Sure, that's definitely not. That's way above. Just give him a. Anyway.
That reminds me of a Family Guy thing with Harrison Ford working at Walmart. Go after yourself. Go after yourself.
Yeah. He's been so angry about that for like 40 years. Yeah, it's great. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like, you just, I don't want curmudgeon-y old men. Like, if they're gonna bring Shepard back and he's gonna just be if he's just gonna be a curmudgeon-y old man, then I'm not gonna, then it's gonna suck. But I think that there is a way that you can do it tastefully, and there is a way that you can do it respectfully, and that way needs to acknowledge the decisions that the player made, because even some of the major decisions that you make, I don't know if the games came out in 2007, like, I think spoilers are okay, so spoiler warning for the Mass Effect trilogy.
Oh, we just lost everyone.
Yep, everyone's gone. So, like, whether you save or not save the Geth, like, whether you cure or not cure the genophage, like, these are the Rachni, queen, what you do with that. Like, these choices are associated with Paragon and Renegade. They are. Like, and I mentioned this in my video, that saving the Krogan, it leans you towards, yes, cure the genophage, but that's a nuanced decision, and it leans you towards that because that's like the Paragon, and we know that most people generally play like Paragon. Like, most people play good characters. At least their first time, and then they'll do the Renegade. So, they can decide, as long as Mass Effect 5... contrary to what Veilguard did, integrates your choices into the game, there is a way that they can respectfully decide, like, okay, he probably played as more of a renegade, and then they could incorporate that into, like, if they really wanted to go, I don't have faith that they would do this, but if they really wanted to go into it, how does Shepard enunciate? Like, how does Shepard speak? How does Shepard react, depending on how prominent he is in the game? That being said, I think that he can play, like, just a cameo appearance the way that Hawk did in Inquisition, and I thought that Hawk was done very well in Inquisition, and especially when Hawk comes back and then they have those interactions with, like, if Loghain survived into Inquisition, and then you have that whole, which is what I just played through, because I just beat Inquisition recently, and that's the experience I got, and I was like, this is done very well.
Yep, I didn't even know it until I watched your video. I was like, Loghain's in this. I had no idea.
If Loghain survives in Origins, and then becomes a Grey Warden as sort of punishment, then it appears. Like, there's cool stuff you can do, and so BioWare's done it in the past. They've done these cool things. I don't have necessarily the full confidence that they will be able to, but it's possible. And I would prefer, look, one of the endings for Mass Effect 3, I think if you have enough galactic readiness and you do destroy ending, which is what I believe the canonical is going to be, Shepard lives. You see him take a last breath at the end of that. So yeah, they've had this in some way planned or left open at the bare minimum to explore. How they can do it, I don't know, and how they do it without taking away from your protagonist, I think is the bigger challenge. Because you don't want Shepard to show up and then it's like, oh my god, here's this god figure that I spent 3 games playing as, and I'm playing as this fucking N7 garbage runt piece of turd, like...
Language!
Yeah, no, I get what I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, you're like, and I don't know, that's such a double-edged sword. And there's so many, like we saw what happened with Veilguard, where they're like, hey, only 3 choices mattered, when you make like 7,500 choices in the trilogy, and they're like, how are you supposed to equate? How are you supposed to even match that up to make everything cohesive?
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with canonical choices. Like make one of those 3 endings canon. Like that's fine. I get it. You need to do that for the sake of telling a good story. And I understand that, but there's other things that you can incorporate. You know, I think, again, Inquisition did a phenomenal job with things like Loghain, with things like when you're running around in the world and Varric is bringing up, you know, characters that you had choices with in the past games, and like, what happened to this character? And like these ambient dialogue scenes come up. I think it's a good way to integrate that stuff. Obviously, I want them to go a step deeper, like things like the Thorian. I would love to see what that character who was impacted by the Thorian in Mass Effect 1. Like, that would be cool, because we know Asari lived forever. Like,
Yeah.
Liara's there,
Asari, yeah.
so that character can show up. Like, they can have your choices matter.
It's the only green Asari in the whole game, as far as I remember.
Yeah, it is.
Bring her
yeah.
back.
Yep.
So bring
Dig
it
her up.
back. Like, I don't know. There's ways you could do it
Dig her up.
respectfully.
I should go.
It's a deep cut.
I should.
Yeah, deep cut. Yeah.
Holly, you have any final thoughts about Mass Effect and what your hopes and dreams are?
No,
Just-
I just want it to be a good story that's purely based in the universe. That's it.
Yeah.
And thinking back to the trailer, you know, it didn't, at least at that time, it didn't have any purpling, so that's good.
The great purpling.
The great
Yes.
purpling is upon us. Yeah.
That's it. I don't know. I have more confidence in that series. I never played Dragon Age, so I had no connection to whether this one was going to be good, bad. I was indifferent anyway. So Mass Effect is different for me, right? So I have a little more hope for it, but I don't have super confidence just because of the state of all of gaming right now, not necessarily just because of BioWare and what's
It's a little
going on.
rough right now, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
For storytelling, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only the storytelling. I'm not talking about gameplay, you know, that side
Well,
of things, right?
The industry and layoffs and the profitability of games has been pretty rough over the past couple years. So, and then with that, there's been some choices that have been tough. So, yeah, it's been weird. Thankfully, I've still been able to enjoy stuff. And if you're gonna ask me again, like, will Mass Effect be good? I think so. Will it live up to the trilogy? It probably won't. I think it's probably kind of impossible for it to do that. And I know Holly is a massive BioShock fan, like I am. And you know, one day, 2K is going to make a BioShock game without Ken Levine. I mean, it's inevitable. I think they're working on one probably. Will it be as
BioShock
good as
4.
the original ones? Huh?
It won't. It
won't.
BioShock 4
Probably
is in
won't.
development. Ken Levine's doing his own thing with Judas.
He's Judas. Will Judas
Both
be
of them?
amazing? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
It won't be BioShock, right? Like, and
Yeah.
this is the expectation you have to have in your head. You can't just say, I'm getting another Mass Effect 2 and it's going to be amazing, or I quit, right? Like, it has, you
Yeah.
have to accept, like, these are properties and they evolve and you move on, and it's okay to have a different story in that universe,
Right.
right?
And it's okay, like, I think, and everyone in chat, I think it's okay for you to, like, not like something. At the same time, it's okay for you to love. For example, like, we're talking about Mass Effect and just BioWare, Dragon Age and Mass Effect and BioWare and all that. So whenever we go to play a sequel of the things that we've already loved, I think it's totally okay for you to be not okay with some of the things that happen, some of the story beats, some of the character choices and dialogue choices and whatnot. there's a difference between being disrespectful, creative liberties, and also just blatantly just it's just not even meant for you at all. And it's okay to just like a game for what it is rather than hate it for what it isn't. But whenever we're talking about sequels, I think that there is a responsibility to some extent, and I'm not trying to be like on, like I'm, preaching to the to how I think everything should be. I think that there's like a responsibility to developers and writers in movies, right? Like, DeMarco, you talked about Joker 2. People love Joker 2, or sorry, Joker for a very specific reason.
You just said people love Joker 2. That was funny.
Yeah, no, that is not true at all. No. But
bird.
I think that
No, brother.
no, brother. But I think like there is like a responsibility for developers to respect what came before and to lean into what made it special to begin with. And I think that being upset about something because it wasn't what you wanted is totally fine. But like Holly, if you get the next Bioshock, you're not going to hate it because it's not everything that you ever wanted it. You're still going to like it because it's still in the Bioshock universe. But there are going to be things that you're like, whatever. But hopefully those things aren't so in your face in purple, like we're seeing with the majority of stuff.
Hey,
Shout out.
if a game also has a huge purple flag for you and you're just like, I don't support that and I don't want to put my money towards it because purpling on a game shall not be done in my face. So,
She does have a good
it's
point
okay.
because Saints Row went south and Agents of Mayhem had the purpling. What else had the purpling?
So much.
Oh man, what is it? Yeah.
God, that was so much.
Oh, I don't even have it. I think I took that down. I think I took down the.
Avowed.
No, I didn't.
Wow,
That has a little bit of the purpling. I'm gonna.
All right, let's talk about.
Let's talk about buttered sausage.
This thing is. Avowed. I'm gonna play the heck out of that in third person.
I am too. Let's talk about that real quick. BT Maverick, thank you so much, bro, for the $5 super chat.
What the
He says,
shunk?
Oh, I did. I got rid of that one too because it just sounded bad. BT Maverick, thanks, bro. He said, "What did you guys? Who did you guys try to romance in Dragon Age Veilguard, and how did that go? Nothing has been as bad as the Tennessee Southern dwarf in God of War Ragnarok." I haven't romanced.
Miranda all the way, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're talking about romancing, dude. Okay, I haven't romanced anyone in Veilguard, but I can talk about Mass Effect. Mass Effect was I'll never forget this as long as I live. It was the moment where, because I listen, I don't care. I romance Ashley Williams every single time. It's because if you give her a chance, she comes around.
Wait, in the first game you do, because she has like mom lady hair.
Yeah, she's like, it's got like all pinned back. Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't get over the hair. It's like
and then she becomes like Kim Kardashian, like, well, not present day Kim Kardashian, but she never mind.
And then in 2 she's a jerk to you.
Yeah, so
at Horizon or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
I think it's called Horizon.
And so it wasn't until and that I think leaned into it, like it felt like a real, like a believable relationship, because in Mass Effect 1 I romanced Ashley Williams.
You're used to being abused and emotionally.
I'm used to being. That is so true, by the way. I've been in so many abusive. It's fantastic. Let's talk about my relationships. Let me make a poll. How many?
Lean back, and we're gonna have a little bit of a psychological psychiatrist thing going on here.
Yeah. He's like, which one is the most horrible? That's the one for me. And when he goes into a new video game.
Exactly. Did she try to hit me with a guitar when she was trashed? That's the girl for me. Anyway.
Stop! You're gonna break the guitar. That's what you say.
I love that guitar, and you. I'm just saying that for you to put it down.
Did you call me an idiot? Oh baby.
Oh, babe, look, it's a Supra. It's a Supra. She's like, I'm trying to talk to you, but babe, it's a Supra. Who cares about your dumb car? That's
Pepper spray is the first sign of foreplay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So true. Oh, this is how we get started.
You hear it burns.
I should go.
Nothing gets my rocks off like rocks on my car windshield. Anyway.
Got your ass.
I can't. I literally can't.
Oh my god. So yeah, I will say with with the Ashley Williams romance. So we were together. Thank you. We were together in Mass Effect 1, and then Mass Effect 2 comes around. She's just gone. She's like, listen, we're on two different things, and I'm like, you're working for Cerberus? What the hell? I thought you loved me. And then she gets injured. Okay, so Mass Effect 2, I was like, I guess she's out of the picture. So whatever's going on, whatever. And Miranda came around, and I was like, girl, I saw you in that movie where you were blonde. I'll have that. And then Mass Effect 3 comes around.
I was like, where's Chuck?
Where's Chuck? Yeah, where's Chuck? I think it had the guy who plays Arrow. Not Arrow. He has arrows. What's his name? Marvel. Arrow Man? Arrow. What the hell's his name? Whatever. Anyway, and so then Mass Effect 3 comes around. Her hair is done up in a hospital bed for whatever reason. And she's like, tell me, Shepard, was there anyone else? And I'm like, yes. And she's like,
I should go. You're like, I should go.
yeah, I should go. And so you can tell her yes, and like, do you still love me?
Thane walks in and goes, lasagna's ready.
Oh, he closed the door. He's like,
You cheated on me with a frog?
oh, I get it now. Yeah. And so and thank you.
Thane's wearing like the
Hawkeye.
lacy. Thane's wearing the lacy apron. And he's like, Shepard, the
That's all he's wearing.
lasagna's ready. Got the oven mitts. Nothing else on.
Just I should go. Yeah. Oh man, now I want to see some fan art of that. Thank you, Game Seeker. It's Hawkeye. That's who I was trying to think of. So yeah,
Arrow.
So then I tell her, yes, there was someone else, and you have a choice to be like, I still love you, or no, I'm sorry, we're done. But I told her, I said, I still love you. I thought like we were done.
Does she say it's okay if it's anybody but Miranda?
Basically, yeah. She's like, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. And you walk out of the hospital room, and Miranda's standing there like, I thought that we had something, Shepard. I'm like, fuck, man, fuck everything. And this is such a dramatic bullshit. And I'm like, in this love triangle. Like, I thought you were gone, but you're British, and I don't know.
The Hanar's like, lasagna's ready.
I thought you were gone, but you're British, so you just came back like a cockroach. We can't get rid of you.
God, what the hell is wrong with these Brits, man? Anyway, speaking of Brits, shout out to everyone in chat. I hope you guys are having a good
The
time.
Volus.
Really appreciate you. The Volus, yo.
Bull's like,
I thought we had something, Shepard.
he's like this.
Shepard, I thought we had something special. Me and the Shadow Broker and you, and a bottle of Chianti.
Oh my god. Year 2020, 75 or whatever. Oh my god. That's a great.
It's a vintage 2075.
Right, exactly. Been saving this. Saving this for 300 years, Shepard. You imagine walking out of the hospital room after talking to Ashley?
I'm gonna waddle away real quick.
There's a Volus standing there. There's a Hanar, Miranda, the elusive man. He's like, Shepard, where's my pack of cigarettes? Everyone is just standing there. A Reaper.
Everybody in the whole crew's like, I thought we had something, Shepard.
Edie.
Joker's like, you too?
Yeah. Shepard's like, is
Shepard
there an open
comes.
window?
Joker comes in with a broken hip. You too?
Oh my god, fantastic. Ah man, so there's your
Blasto?
answer, BT Maverick. That's a Blasto. Oh my god. You guys ever read the
Blasto.
comics? Oh my god, they're so good.
Blasto made it into the into the game.
Yeah, that was
Fan
dual
fiction for
wielding-
Mass Effect is like peak fan fiction. It's hilarious stuff.
Yeah.
Slow Lark says, please do a 6-part parody of Mass Effect.
I'd fucking love that.
Love
He
that.
said, yeah. We could. What I would love to, if Umbra's still here, I would love to still be a part of the. They did a Halo table script table read. What's it called? Table read, script read.
Table read.
For Halo, and that was so funny. They were going to do a Mass Effect, or I say they were going to. I'm trying to will it into existence. I want them to do a Mass Effect read and us be a part of it. That'd be great. And I just love the part where the The guy who sounds like this. He's part of the. He's like the. I can't remember. Umbra, you know what it is. Where he goes, pardon? Anyway, it's just it's a whole thing. No one knows what the hell I'm talking about. But hey, listen. That's BT Magver says you can type it in the chat. Just curious. I don't know what you mean.
He really wants to know who Colt and DeMarco romance.
Oh
No, the other guy. Who Colt and the other guy romanced.
Yeah.
The other.
I'm assuming that's you.
What?
You didn't.
Slander.
Colt and I are the only ones who have played Veilguard. So that's why I tried to.
Oh, you're talking about Veilguard romance?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna romance Harding because she's the only like redeemable character in the whole. I hate Nev. She's a. Well, thing is, to be fair, I made Nev hurt. Like she got really hurt because of the choice I made. So now she hates me. So she might have been cool, but I didn't like her to begin with. So Harding is already an established character from Inquisition. That's probably where I'll go. Even though she's like this tall. This tall. Something like that. Anyway, which is totally fine.
I would kiss you if your head stood above. What was the line from
That
Lord
was
of the
one of
Rings?
my favorite things. One of my favorite things in Baldur's Gate was if you play as a dwarf and then you romance like Shadowheart, and every single scene you have like something, she's like getting down on her knees, she's like, oh, I love you. She's like, and your hands are as big as her entire face, and you're just like, come here.
Love me, Shadowheart.
It's so funny. Like,
That's how
you're
you do it.
holding your hand, and then it just looks like it. Literally, I kid you not. It's like fuck. I don't have. It's like. Here I have. I don't have anything nearby. It's just like a little baby's finger. Like you're grasping. You're like, I love you, sweetheart.
All right. Anyway, so let's. Probably
I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood a little higher from the ground. That's the line.
Yeah.
I would kiss your.
Gosh, what a
dwarf if
great.
stood higher from my a. Yeah. God, Lord of the Rings. We
I
need
would
to
kiss
get-
your head, dwarf. It stood a little higher from the ground.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I was going to romance Davrin, but I never, I always say nice things like, nice Griffin. But yeah, nothing really happened. After
Wow,
that.
that's some cool dialogue.
I mean, that's how it is, right? It's like the
really
love
is.
option is like, your Griffin likes to eat snacks. And I'm like,
Want to share
Gosh.
multiple?
stupid.
God, Griffin. This whole Griffin.
You have-
business is-
Nice.
Little do I
Feathers,
know, all this time, all this time,
Beak.
all this time, the game is actually putting me into the romance lane to romance his Griffin. That's probably what's happening.
I
That's what it
love
is, yeah.
wings.
Air, flying.
I like wings.
Hair.
Take you to barbecue Benjamin's barbecue beef town down at barbecue. I don't know what the hell we're talking about. Anyway, hey, by the way, shout out to
Lamp.
everyone, and I love Lamp. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight, talking about Mass Effect and Bioware, and it's not a whole lot going on, and the things that are going on aren't interesting.
I got a lightning round.
Do it.
A lightning
Lightning
round
me.
news. Not related to BioWare, but WB Games recently came out. They lost, I think it was 200 million or 100 million or something, like many millions
Okay.
on
200.
their live service games. So this is a combination of like multiverses, which was fine for a free-to-play game, but just not great. This was also with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which we all know was just abysmally a flop. So they've lost many hundreds of millions of dollars. So now their new strategy is to double down on Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, and specifically Batman. They have a whole DC thing that they could work with. There is a Wonder Woman game that's being worked on, but just those three in particular. I don't know if that gets anybody excited or just sort of disappointed with the future of what WB Games can make. But for me, even as someone who loves the Arkham trilogy, I hear that I'm like, okay, we're gonna do. Batman is my favorite superhero. It's
Yes.
one of my favorite game trilogies of all time, and I hear that news and I go, all right, we're getting another Batman game. Like,
Finally.
I mean, I would love to see Batman Beyond, but even still, I sort of just go, we can do something new.
Yeah. As the Batman man, you know what? I'm not gonna talk.
Like this is just gonna rotate into the exact same conversation we had about Bioware. You know, like
Yeah, it's like as long as they don't make Batman red-haired, name him. Never mind. I don't. Never mind. Go ahead. Yeah, Holly.
Name him Ed Sheeran. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Let's do that. Let's just go ahead and do that.
When you came,
Make
You like that?
make the Batmobile into a Tesla.
Yeah, exactly.
You like that? Look at
All
it. Look at
Batmobiles are
that.
now Cybertrucks.
Batmobiles, $3 million. Everybody
Yeah, they're
bought
selling
one.
10 of them or something.
Nope.
Tell me you bought one, Holly.
I mean, I was like, it feels kind of cheap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it feels like a
It's
cheap.
I
worth
feel like
it.
it's just a replica. I only want the real one. Like,
They're not
Yeah.
street legal.
I would just
They're
get in
not?
it and go,
No.
does it come in black? It is black already.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I would just drive around town going, Rachel!
Rachel! Oh, God, yeah, that is like ingrained into my mind. Rachel!
Can you imagine driving that thing in the forward position? My back!
Yeah, I
That'd
know.
be the
When he's
worst.
laying down, you're like, why am I?
Yeah.
Damn it,
My
Morgan!
shoulder, my back. Yeah.
My.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Red!
Sorry, I didn't say anything. Yeah, so we're really excited to be getting more Batman games. Maybe we'll get the old Damian Wayne
Little
Batman
pain in
game.
your throat, huh?
That yeah, a little bit of Dragon Age Veilguard in my throat.
Little.
True 77 says not being able to turn your neck.
Yeah, God, that was me last week. It's funny. I almost put out a community post when my neck was messed up, and I tried to look for like
Your
a perfect
Batman neck?
gift. Yeah, of Michael Keaton turning like whenever he turns to the camera, and I just couldn't find a good one that like looked good on a community post. But that's what I was gonna do, because that was literally me.
It's hard to kill. It's hard to turn 50 pounds
oh.
in the drop of a dime.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Mass Effect TV show. By
Oh,
Amazon.
jeez, I forgot.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that's a whole thing. All right, listen.
And then they told everyone making the show, don't play the game. We want to go in fresh. They didn't say that.
Yeah, I know, man. I would assume that with the Mass Effect TV show, that they are
Is it a
not
male
going
or
to do
female
Shepard.
Shep?
Well, I don't think that they're going to do anything Shepard related. I think they're going with First Contact War, and then season 3 maybe that's when Shepard shows up, and then they decide. But depending on the feedback that they get, they can make a decision. That's just my thoughts. First Contact War was sort of how the whole universe kicked off, and the whole entire time everyone's going to be waiting for Shepard to show up, and it would be a young Shepard, if that were the case. That's not what I want, by the way. I don't. I am ready for studios to stop being so afraid to just take what is already written, what is already so amazing, and just adapt it to film. Everything is written for you.
I mean, they do it with books, but if they do a episodic TV show, somebody's just gonna say, "Look, this is what happens," and the Krogan don't make it.
Yeah.
But Fallout did a great job. That's a whole new story that
Yes.
feels like it fell right out of Fallout 4.
Yeah, well, the thing with Fallout is that each entry is a different, it's a different year, it's a different area of the world, and they have the luxury of just making a whole new character with each.
Fallout is a
game.
universe. It's not,
Yeah.
very cut to a specific story, right? It's very good at just being broad and open. Halo is too. They just didn't write the right thing, right?
They didn't do anything right with that.
And
show,
I would
but-
argue Mass Effect is too. Like, just do a whole story about the Krogan, right? Like, do a season about something happening there.
Right.
Like,
And
that
I
would be
think that
cool.
they would have to play it safe with that's why I say like First Contact War, because that would be what is it, 40 years, Mark? I can't remember. It's not that far, because Ashley Williams, the reason that she is racist against Turians is because that's how her father died, was from the First Contact War. The Turians killed her father, so of course she's like, fuck those Turians.
Yeah, it's still
I should've
recent.
said that. I'm canceled. But Yeah, so I think that kind of stuff would be cool to just sort of like lead into it, and then you could do like season 2, and it's 20 years later, and then you have a young shepherd played by, I almost said Mark Hamill, Henry Cavill, Mark Meer. Yeah, there you go. Just let Henry Cavill play everything. Okay, thank you. But anyway, yeah. So
How about this for funsies?
Yeah.
Who would play Commander Shepard if he was in the TV show?
Besides Henry Cavill,
Yeah.
man,
Everything should be Henry Cavill all the time.
it should be.
It's the only
It really
preference.
just should be. Yeah.
Even Ashley.
Dude,
fine.
have you guys seen the shaved head Henry Cavill that people?
Well,
have
didn't
made?
people say that Brad Pitt would have played back in the day? Brad Pitt would have made a good Commander Shepard back
Tom
when.
Cruise actually would have been a good one in the way back. Minus,
like-
5 inches of height.
Hey, everyone down there! Sorry, that's not.
You know who would be a good female one is
Jessica.
Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt.
Oh, Emily Blunt.
I saw that. The red hair
From
the,
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes.
When she
yes.
did Edge of Tomorrow, that movie's so good. I love
Did she have red hair in that movie?
No, it's blonde.
It,
Oh.
yeah,
It's like
I
a
think,
reddish blonde.
yeah, I think someone photoshopped it. Where did I see? Oh,
Ben
was it-
Affleck?
That's
So
the- that-
just
that's the video.
have her play female Shepard and have John Krasinski play Commander Shepard.
That'd be great.
I watched
like,
that.
Rex, where
And
are
Michael
I'd
you?
watch
Scott.
that.
Rex.
Remember Michael Scott?
I can't hear
Michael Scott in Mass Effect.
Oh my god, those videos, guys! If you haven't seen this, the Michael Scott Shepard or Mass Effect videos are some of the best videos ever. Where he's like, some may say I'm the best boss in the world, and it's like behind him, it's Mass
Yeah,
Effect 2
yeah.
with the ship and everyone. It's like, what's going on? Everything's it's so good. Just chat,
Yeah, it's
look
really
up
good.
Michael Scott Mass Effect, and you will not be disappointed. I promise you. It's so fun. I love that stuff so much. Anyway,
The YouTube is like Eli4.wave, like WAV. I think that's like
There it is. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, yeah.
he does a lot of them. Like he's the one that did the first one with the Pulp Fiction John Travolta. Like in like
Oh!
The Matrix or something.
Right, right, where
like,
he's like looking around, like
Yeah.
where the hell the hell?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
I
put
didn't
Mr.
know.
Bean in something ridiculous. They're really good.
That's wild. That's special effects.
Captain Anderson said, Commander, something big is heading our way. And Michael Scott goes, that's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah. And he does a laugh that I pretty much just did. He goes, "That's what she said." Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I just like want to go just watch all those videos right now. Anyway, thank you all so much, so much. Thank you. Shout out to Game Seeker and BT Maverick for the support, for the super chats. Really appreciate you guys so much. You can't really state how much it means right now, especially with everything that's going on in my work life. But thank you all so much for hanging out with us. True77 says, oh my god, it's so good. Just watched Oblivion, Tom Cruise movie, and that actually had some Mass Effect aesthetics to it. Did I ever watch Oblivion? I know what it's about. It's a sci-fi. He ends up on the apocalyptic Earth.
I think Emily Blunt was in that with him. I think that was Emily Blunt.
I can't remember. I've never watched it, so I think I know what it's about, but I need to watch it. Yeah, that'd be a good one to watch. Tom Cruise, last Mission Impossible movie coming out soon. It's called The Final Reckoning, right? Yeah, there we go.
You know who would be a really good shepherd looks wise is Wes Bentley. Look him up.
All right, let me do this. Chat, let's look up Wes Bentley. Isn't that a country
You know him
singer?
from stuff.
Yellowstone.
Oh, dude, this guy's great. He is in Oh,
Yeah,
you,
looks
what the
familiar.
fuck? Yeah, it looks just like him. I never thought about that. I remember the first time that I ever saw him, it was in Ghost Rider. Remember he played Legion in Ghost Rider, the Nicolas Cage movie. Yeah, that's great. He's only 46. Look at that. He's young. That is like he looks so much like Shepard. I never would have. Look at you. Look at you. That is a great recommendation. There you go. Send it out. Send it out. I think he has a good voice too, from what I remember.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Yeah.
Yeah. Wes
He's
Bentley
kind of got that like piercing thing too, which I feel like Shepard is always like.
with the blue
you know.
eyes. Yeah, the
Yeah.
piercing blue eyes. Yeah. That's a really good
Yeah.
point. Yeah. He'll pierce you. He'll just do that, dude. What the hell is that? Sorry, I just heard a really weird noise. Anyway, I have ghosts in my house. It's the ghost of Bioware because Bioware's dead. Hey, listen, thank you all again for being here talking about Bioware. And Colt, thank you so much for hanging out. And I was gonna try to get you out early, but we just kept talking, and so
Yeah.
here we are.
Here we are once again.
Sorry, I was gonna see how long I could make awkward silence, but Colt.
I don't allow it.
All right, thank you. Tell people. Oh wait. There we
Tell people about our sponsor.
Shepard, that's real good, Shepard.
Yeah, could you do like an outro as the Volus into your cup?
I block anyone on Twitter. I'm Jason Schreier. Who else?
I'm Oliver.
Yeah,
Oliver Twist or whatever the guy's name. Doesn't that guy look just like Oliver? What is his name? Doesn't Jason Schreier look just like Oliver? Tom Oliver? John Oliver? Tim Oliver?
John Oliver.
Yeah.
Sort
Doesn't he
of,
look
not
just like him? Every time I think of Jason
No.
Schreier, I think of John Oliver. Worse.
Maybe on his profile pic, but not in person.
His heavily edited. Anyway, we love Jason. Jason, we love you.
We do.
Jason.
Big fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
Sorry, go ahead, Cole. Where can people find you, brother?
Find me at Colt Eastwood on YouTube and on Twitter and Blue Sky and Mastodon, Instagram, and that's it.
Mastodon.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something. There's something like that, right? Holly, there's something called.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Blue Sky is
There's
blowing up.
Yeah. Apparently,
Yeah.
everyone jumped there because of current things, but I don't know. I'll just stay on Twitter where everyone hates me. It's wonderful. Love it. It's great. Love it so much. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Every week and a
2
half.
death threats today. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Wow. Better than last Tuesday. So, just we're 2 down. We're down a notch. DeMarco, you were the Mass Effect man. We were all Mass Effect men and women today. With you, with your black hair and your face.
Shepard. Our
Yep.
Shepard.
Yep, exactly. So thank you for always being here and with the knowledge of knowledges. Where can people find you? And what's your next video? Can you tease it, or you don't want to put the heart before the course, or the cart before the horse?
Oh, put the heart before the court.
No.
I mean, I was looking at doing, because obviously Indiana Jones just had that gameplay preview. And there's been some comments going all around online that people are like, I've seen like 2, but they're like, ooh, the combat looks terrible. And I made this mistake with Hogwarts Legacy where I was like, ooh, doesn't look very fun. But then you actually sit down and play the game and you realize that it's actually a lot better than it showed, and it was shown that way intentionally because they were just trying to show gameplay mechanics. So I sort of got a comeuppance there, and I've learned from it, but I see other people, it looks like they're maybe making the same mistake. So maybe sort of opening that discussion, but I don't know yet. We'll see. But you can find me on DeMarco, dude. I'm one subscriber away from hitting 4.5K. So I'm at 4,499. As
means
the
yes.
Germans in
Scream that a little bit
Indiana Jones
longer.
will
That'll
say.
get.
Yeah. Just keep saying that over and over again. It'd be great.
I'm just practicing for my Indiana Jones review.
That's true. Oh yeah, you're gonna do the whole skip
Yeah.
thing and all
Yeah.
that. Oh, that's gonna be so good. I'm excited for that.
We need to get him a hat and a whip so he can do a true, proper intro.
Well, I've got the. Oh, there you
Well,
go. That's pretty accurate, almost.
The closest I got.
That's great.
there you go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it just had to come down a little bit.
Get a
more.
garden hose and use
Oh,
that.
look at that. Wait, do that
Perfect.
again. Wait, pull it down. And then just shake. Wait, there. It's got like a mind of its own. Your hat is so excited. I love it. I love it. So.
YouTube and Twitter. Check it out in the description below.
Yeah. I'm
Titter.
really excited.
So
There you
dorky.
go. Colt's got yes, Colt's got his. Listen, I got the hat, or excuse me, I got the whip. Colt's got the hat, and we can just make things happen. If you want. I don't have anything. I have nothing. Oh wait, I have it. No, that's not gonna work. I'm not gonna grab that. You don't want to see that. It's a whole thing. Holly,
Chipper.
where can we find you? What you gonna be getting into? Any announcements this week, or you want to save that?
No, I got nothing. Just
Fantastic.
yeah. Well, the Infinite Podcast on Fridays at 6 p.m. Central now, I think, because our times changed and Riskets didn't.
Oh.
And then this Saturday, I'm going to be on Aim Down Sights with Red Panda and Next Gen Nero, right? And that's it. That's all I got. Thank you
Thank you.
to my 23 subscribers to my channel with not a nair video on it.
Wait, Holly.
Just-
Okay, we gotta talk because I want to get all your links in the right place. I mentioned it last week, but you probably didn't see.
No, and people just follow me. I've never asked. I've never asked. 23 without a video. It's pretty good. Although I do have my music playlists up, and I think that sometimes
Oh, that'll do
pulls
it.
people over.
That'll do it. Yeah, that the music, ooh, peak, so good, so good. The cyberpunk, it's a whole thing. But anyway, yeah, thank you. King Style says I'm only saying it because I want to be one. Listen, you can be that. You can be that. King Styles, if that's who you want to be, I love you for that. I love that for you. There we go. There we go. I don't want to say it out loud, but I was laughing. I love how we don't time out King Styles for saying that, but Arcane comes in. No. You're done. You're out. Delete.
No hellos from you.
No hellos,
Got it.
no LOLs, absolutely nothing. Anyway, shout out everyone in the chat. And I forgot, I told Game Secret that I would do this. But anyway, you can find me on Twitter. Guys, follow me on Twitter. All I get is bots, and I'm so sick of it. I gotta figure out a way to like delete like Kendra, Miller, and it's like this. Anyway, I don't want to go into detail. I'm tired of it. I want to see you guys on Twitter. Thing is, Blue Sky might be the. You know what? I should go. Anyway, shout out to everyone here tonight, and thank you all so much for being here. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Here you go, Game Seeker.
I should go.
I should go.
Bioware. Fuck you.
We're talking about buttered sausage.